No, it's not. You know, it's Spartak, and we get these surveys done, and we show that most people in Chukotka like Zenit.
Why?
Most people.
Why? Like Gazprom working?
Maybe it's because we're winning. Maybe it's because of Zuba. I mean, Zuba is a big asset for us, but after the World Cup, his popularity has been a big brand for us. And a big.
I mean, poor guy. Like right now, yes, he's making loads of money. Yes, perfect. But each time his brand image is.
Yeah, the whole country looks at him all the time. This thing, and he's massive. But I mean, you'll see it if you just Google on the most popular clubs in Russia. There's loads on our website. I write about it all the time. And it has the map of the regions, and it will show, in Chukotka, in Novgorodsky Oblast or wherever, Zenit. It'll be it's either Zenit or Spartak or occasionally CSKA. But so to answer your question, the three things you suggested is an element of each. We don't really have a sort of we've got to do this, we've got to do this. It's sort of improve the club's image. Before when we had the little stadium, the Petrovsky, when we only could hold 20,000, it was always sold out. Now we've got this massive 60,000 seater. Yet there is an element of push tickets, get people in the stadium. But that's more, in my opinion, that's more not financial. It is more we want a full up stadium. We want, it looks better. It's good for the team. It's good for Russia.
So more like of a reputation thing rather than money from the tickets.
Oh yeah, for us, for Zenit, definitely. I mean, we're a bit like Man City, I suppose, where we have financial issues.
Okay.
So, yeah. I hope that answers it properly.
So, does the club focus on the uniqueness? Like, does it have a strong identity and manage it? If we're speaking about the reputation, then probably it should have.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in St. Petersburg, you'll see Zenit branding. This one club, one city thing. We've got a load of buses with it written on, with pictures of the club
like
and
everywhere. We are the city.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's on buses. We've got half a dozen shops in the city. It's in the airport. We've got a plane. One of the Russia Airlines plane is all done out in Zenit colours that flies out of Pulkovo. So we do push, the club and the identity of the club as part of the city. And it's, what's the word I'm looking for? Do you know what? Because I lived in Russia for like 5-6 years and I don't speak to anyone in English.
It's fine, don't worry. If you need to speak in Russian, you can speak in Russian. I know Russian.
I have Russian shit as well. I just don't speak to people. Omnipresent. That's the word I want. Omnipresent.
Oh, okay.
The club is on everywhere you look in St. Petersburg. There's it. Like you'll see us on billboards.
Okay. So awareness fully.
Yeah, you can't miss Zenit. If you're in St. Petersburg, you can't say, "Oh, there was a Zenit match yesterday. I didn't know." There always is.
So
you always be aware.
Is it the same? Is it why in digital, both not in Russia, it's going for the awareness because they're used to it, to doing awareness is main. Because from what we're saying, for Zenit, main thing reputation, and to get reputation, awareness, and then we are cool. Awareness, we are cool. So Zenit, it's cool. Zenit, it's cool.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
You said it better than I could say it. Yeah.
Okay. Boom. I'm just reading the questions, and I know you already answered it, so I'm like.
Well, it's my fault for jabbering.
Don't worry. Because basically, why I asked that is that for example, if you heard about it, Athletic Bilbao, they have only Basque players.
Yes, of course, yeah.
So Zenit is like the city. So if we speak about fans, back to it, what is the demographic portrait of the customer? Like, who is the proper customer of Zenit?
Well, that's a very interesting thing because we're going for a change now. Before we moved to the new stadium, so when we lived in the old Petrovsky, which we left in 2017, it was an old historic stadium built in the 20s, I think, right next to the Neva. It was uncovered. And with Russian weather, it was, unless you were there at the beginning or the end of the season, you were always freezing. It was fucking cold because you were next to the river. So, it was cold and it was uncomfortable. The seats were tiny. For watching football, it was amazing because you were right next to the pitch. You had a great view, but for women, for children, for families, it wasn't great. It was uncomfortable, it was dirty, it was freezing cold. So back then our demographic was men. It was 90s, probably 90% men, and girlfriends being brought along by their boyfriends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Since we've moved to the new stadium, Gazprom Arena, indoor, heated, metro stations, we have all entertainment before the games. Now 40% of the attendees at Zenit matches are women and children.
Mm-hmm.
40%, which is
40%.
massive.
Wow.
40%, which I doubt anyone in the world could compete with that.
Mm-hmm.
40%. And let me look at my social media analytics now.
Okay.
And I can tell you what our audience breakdown is. Let's have a look. Loading. Okay, so I can give you everything. Carriers, where are we? Okay, demographics. Okay, so Zenit social media. So male, female. We are 78% male, 22% female.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for social media, that's quite a lot.
For a football club, that's a good percentage of female. Well, 1 in 5 of our fans is female. That's great. We are 74% of our followers speak English as a first language.
Okay.
21% Russian, 7% Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
And the location, so 17% of our followers are in the UK.
Okay.
8% in Russia.
Okay.
6% in the USA.
Okay.
And then it's a fairly even split between, from 4% Italy, Brazil, 4%.
Also, it's like world coverage, because when you said 47% English first speaking language, I was like, I mean, all British?
Well, I suppose that must just be what people identify with online, I suppose.
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
Because I have my media in English, so probably.
Yeah, so maybe that's what Google tells you. But yeah, 17% in the UK. So we go Italy, Brazil, Argentina, 4%. Then Nigeria, 3%. Egypt, 3%. Spain, 3%. France, 2%. So it really, it is quite widespread. And then it even gives me the cities, most people, the regions. Greater London is the top one. Then it's Northwest England, Manchester. Then it's Buenos Aires.
Whoa.
Then it's Yorkshire. Then it's Sao Paulo.
That really depends on the players, because, probably from Argentina is with Rigoni and all those. Yeah. All those players, they're coming.
When we had Hulk, it was like we were really up there with this, the Portuguese, the Brazilians. Mm-hmm. As soon as he left, they all left
going with the players.
Yeah, they all followed the players. So once Malcolm's, we bought Malcolm. He's only played two substitute appearances. Then he got injured. So we've not really got the kick from Malcolm. But once he gets playing, I would expect our Brazilian audience to really take off.
Mm-hmm.
Last season we had, or was it the season before? Last season we had Claudio Marchisio come from Italy.
Yeah.
Who was a big name, and he joined us, and we got a massive influx of Italian followers. And then it all went wrong for him, and we got a massive influx of hate from Italy. But they do follow the play. Yeah, the audience really. Okay, you got that hardcore. Like the British ones are generally football fans in general. Mm-hmm. Keep an eye on a lot of football. Mm-hmm. But the others are sort of they follow the players. Like when we were in the Champions League, when we played a French team, we get you'll get 50,000 views from France. You'll get Germany, and then they go again. They come and go.
Fair enough. They're coming and going with players or with matches and something.
With matches, yeah.
So the demographic portrait is mostly focused on the people who are coming to the stadium.
Well, not for me. No, for me that would be for me. It's online.
Okay.
That's what I focus on.
Okay, fair enough. And who will be the online one? So a person who likes football.
That's what the one I told you was online. Yeah, the one I told you.
Oh, okay. Fair
but the stadium one is because we go on about that all the time. That 40% of our in-stadium audience are female and children and families, females and children.
I mean, fair enough. To be honest, it's because basically
that's massive.
The club I worked for right now, it has loads of families coming, and the director is proud. But when I spoke to the director and I spoke to the manager, to the marketeer, and to who they target and how they work, that's why they have completely different answers. Like the director told me about the target audience which they already have. And the marketeer was like, so basically 3 years ago we had this audience and then we had this problem and that's why these are coming. And I'm like, whoa, the whole story back in it. And then you can see who they target and how it actually works. Like, for example, we're targeting male who like football and then turns out that it's that our director